moving because I always run out of time.
Okay.
U.S. officials announced that
this is a Wendy update.
Is it?
Well, she's always asking us about.
Oh, yeah, for Shanquella Robinson. U.S. officials announced they won't pursue criminal charges in the 2022 death of Shanquella Robinson.
And they're giving reason why.
On Wednesday, the U.S. officials announced they would not pursue criminal charges following the 22 death of Shanquella Robinson, as the unavailable evidence does not support a federal prosecution. According to the Charlotte Observer, the U.S. Attorney's Office in North Carolina shared that the FBI and federal prosecutors have concluded that their investigation in the Shanquella's death, U.S. officials will not be pursuing. It is unclear how this will affect the requested extradition of the Mexican authorities. So Mexico can still do something. It was previously reported that Mexican officials issued a warrant for Dejanay Jackson, one of the people Shanquella had been traveling with at the time of the death. Nonetheless, U.S. officials did clarify that Dejanay is not a criminal suspect. However, the Department of Justice or Department of State did not detail their position on extradition, citing a detailed and thorough investigation and an autopsy concluded by medical examiner's office in North Carolina County. All officials said they found that the available evidence does not support a federal prosecution. U.S. Attorney Sandra J. Harson and Dina J. King said in a statement. Mexico ain't going to do nothing about it. If United States not going to do nothing about it, Mexico ain't going to do nothing about it.
See, she's the wrong color. If she was a wealthy, white, blonde, blue eyes, gray eyes, whatever, they may even do a move on trying to get her.
As in every case under consideration for federal prosecution, the government must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a federal crime was committed. It continued. Based on the result of the autopsy and after careful deliberation and review of the investigative materials by both U.S. attorneys' offices, federal prosecutors informed Ms. Robinson's family today that the available evidence does not support a federal prosecution.
Now, I knew that, so I don't know why is that a surprise to us?
Suspects could still possibly face extradition to Mexico for charges. How many people believe that's going to happen? If United States ain't doing nothing, why would Mexico do anything?
Think about it. Why would we call this federal? This is not federal.
Because it happened in another country.
So, because somebody lived in America, goes to another country, and supposedly had taken
it happened
their lives
in that other country.
Oh.
Yeah, they can't do anything locally. That happened in another country. That's federal.
But I thought it's federal when... Okay, I guess it don't matter where it's happening.
It don't matter.
If it happens in America and she flees to Mexico.
Well, that's different.
That's federal, right?
Because
she did the crime.
Well, federal people got to go get her.
So why are they saying it's not a federal?
They saying that they don't have enough evidence to do anything about it.
Even with the video.
Because
are they pretty much saying that the video can mean that she just got a beat down, but that may not mean
they
the reason why
prove
she died.
that beating is what caused her death.
Yeah.
They can say she got in a fight. They can say they jumped on her. Yeah. They can say blah, blah, blah. Uh-huh. But because when those paramedics showed up and said what they said, that messed it up. Because they going by what the paramedics and the police said in Mexico. Now, she's, like you said, she black or whatever. Mm-hmm. They're not going to make a whole big thing against Mexico and say that your officers didn't know what they was doing.
The coroner,
mm-hmm.
I say it wrong. You know who I'm talking about, the one who makes the decision. Why isn't it that results from that is not being real clear on the timing of her death?
Oh, like that's what I'm saying. It's not clear.
From the beating,
right,
was a result of this,
right,
which is a result of her death,
right. It's not clear,
and that needs to be clear. Who pays for that?
But
Mexico don't want to do it,
and they saying because reasonable doubt they can't do a case without somebody in the jury sitting and saying what you saying. Well, what about it's going to be somebody on that jury or whatever that's going to be reasonable doubt, and they can't win. They know they're not going to win the case.
What's Nancy Grace doing about it?
Well, we got to find out. That's what we're going to find out. So we're going to find out what her lawyer, that's that black guy that's always with everybody, and what is Nancy Grace saying about it and other people.
One thing I learned about it with the rookie, watching the rookie, that one of the rookie cops was chasing a gentleman that has supposedly killed, did a actual violation, and he started fighting her, so she had to restrain him and fight him so she can get him down to put his cuffs on. Right. Okay. So she took him in. So when they took him in to put him in the jail, there was other guys in that jail. Apparently, he must have said something. And they started fighting in there. And then the door opened, and so they all started fighting, and the cops that was there was fighting. So they had to take her gun and her badge, because they didn't know if when he died later, was it her lick that was the cause of him dying? Right. Was it him being beat up in jail? Right. So they had to do an investigation, and she didn't understand why. She said, I wasn't trying to kill him. I was just trying to protect myself. But your hit with him could have been the reason why he died. Right, right. So she didn't understand as a rookie why I had to do that. But they came back and said, you're in the clear. All right. The beating in the jail is what killed him. Right. So that's why I'm thinking, with all of this, can they be really clean cut on her beating on that film? Nah. Is what took her life. Well, here, let's read what everybody says. Emerald says, I thought there was a recording of the incident. Yes. Of the fight, but not her passing away. Yeah. True says, shaking my head. And then Jay Boogie said, wasn't Shanquella's neck broken? Yep. And that fight. Can you bring me some tissue? Yes. That fight showed everything. I'm thinking there was nothing wrong with that girl before she got beat up. So they not gonna. Well, let's see what Ben is. This Ben Crump or whatever his name is. Is he a part of this? He's the attorney. Let's see what he says. Oh, okay. And let's see what you said Nancy Grace and them say. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we gotta hurry up. Go ahead. Anheuser-Busch loses more than $5 billion in value amid the Dylan Bud Light. We talked about this yesterday. And remember, we said you got to know. Dang, man, okay, that's a lot of tissue.